Hello everyone. So in our previous video we have learnt about the formation of blastula. Now here in this video we have to study gastrulation process or the development of gastrula. So now earlier only we have studied that the ovary it releases ovum which then gets fertilized, and then it undergoes certain cleavages, and through these cleavages we get 2 cell stage, then we get 4 cell stage, 8 cell stage likewise, and then we get morula. It has blastomeres in it. That means the divided cells, they are called as blastomeres. Now this morula, it develops into blastula or blastocyst. This is the blastocyst which get embedded in the endometrium of the uterus. This blastocyst, it is the rearrangement of the blastomeres. Few blastomeres they get arranged at the periphery, and the layer is known as trophoblast. Outer trophoblast we will find zona pellucida. Few cells they get assembled at a particular place just above the trophoblast, and it is known as internal cell mass, which is also known as embryoblast or the cells of Robber. And plus you will find a cavity over here which is the blastocyst, or it is the fluid cavity. So this is the structure of blastocyst. Now this will develop further, it will undergo certain divisions, and then we'll get the gastrula. So that we have to see. Okay, now the blastocyst is embedded in the endometrium of the uterus, and on the 8th day, or you can say on the second week of fertilization, certain changes occur in the blastocyst. Now what are these changes that we have to see? The first change that occurs is in the layer of trophoblast. This trophoblast layer, it get divided into two layers. The outermost layer, it is called as syncytotrophoblast, while the inner one, it is called as cytotrophoblast. Now why this outer layer is called as syncytotrophoblast? Because here what happens, that plasma membrane does not divide. You will not find plasma membrane over here. Only nucleus it get divided, and it forms many nuclei. So the layer which is present outermost to the cytotrophoblast will have many nuclei, and here you can find the cell membrane in cytotrophoblast. Here in this diagram you can see this one is the syncytotrophoblast, and then the blue one that you can see is the cytotrophoblast. So these are the layers of trophoblast. Now this syncytotrophoblast, this one, it secretes certain enzymes. Lytic enzymes are secreted by this syncytotrophoblast, and because of these enzymes, endometrial cells of uterus, they rupture, and this is how embryo can be implanted over there. That means the blastocysts can go deep into the endometrium because of this lytic enzyme action on the endometrial cells. In this diagram also you can see these are the cells of syncytotrophoblast. You can see many nuclei are there in a single cell, and this is a layer of cytotrophoblast where single nucleus is there in each cell, right? Now the inner cell mass or the embryoblast of the blastocyst, now it will develop into the bilaminar embryonal disc. It will have bilaminar, that means two discs will be there, and these two discs are, or two layers are, epiblast and hypoblast. These two layers also get divided into certain structures which we will see now. Now let us see epiblast first. So this epiblast, here you can see this yellow one that you can see is the hypoblast, and the blue one that you can see is the epiblast, and together this makes the embryoblast or the bilaminar embryonal disc. Now this epiblast, this blue colored epiblast, it start to develop towards the blastocyst. It starts developing towards the blastocyst, and because of this downward growth of the epiblast, it forms a space or a cavity in between the cells of epiblast only, and whatever the cavity forms over there, that cavity is known as amniotic cavity, which then get filled with the amniotic fluid. Okay, and the two layer that will form because of this growth, so the downward row of a cells, it is called as amnion, and upward is the epiblast. Okay, so newly formed cells will be called as amnion, and then epiblast, it is there only. Similarly, certain changes occurs in hypoblast also, which we will see in next slide. Here you can see this is the epiblast. This starts growing towards the blastocyst, and because of that a cavity forms over here. So the cells below the cavity are called as amnion, and above the cavity we will have the epiblast only. Okay, and the cavity, it is called as amniotic cavity, which get filled with the amniotic fluid. Here also you can say, see, syncytiotropoblast is there. This is the syncytiotropoblast. Then you will have a cytotrophoblast. Here these are the yellow colored hypoblast, which then start to cover the blastocyst cavity. Okay, it is starting to cover the blastocyst cavity, and then it forms yolk sac. Okay, before that, let me make you understand that the epiblast are the future ectoderm. This we will come to know, but it forms a layer called as ectoderm, or the outermost layer. Hypoblast, it forms the endoderm. These are the two layers which will help in the development of the embryo. These are the two actual layers of uh, which will develop into the embryo. Other layers that we will see here will form a protective layer or protective covering around the embryo. So here again, epiblast, it is forming the amniotic cavity. These are the cells of amnion and epiblast. Now the hypoblast cells, they are covering the blastocyst cavity. This is the blastocyst, and they are covering the blastocyst, and afterward the cavity will form over here, which will be called as yolk sac. Okay, so now here yolk sac will develop. See here, this is the yolk sac. Okay, this is the development of the epiblast. That means this is the amnion. Here you will find the epiblast, and this is the amniotic cavity. Now here hypoblast is there, which is forming a yolk sac. Okay, hypoblast, it is forming yolk sac. Now this yolk sac, it again gives more cells, which then cover this amnion and yolk sac as well. That means it will cover everything. So that covering, it will be called as extra embryonic mesoderm. Okay, this is amnion, this is epiblast, yolk sac, then you will have the extra embryonic mesoderm. Here you can see, this is just a diagrammatic representation. These are the disc of epiblast and hypoblast. Epiblast will give rise to amnion. This layer will be the amnion. This will be the amniotic cavity. Hypoblast is giving yolk sac, and then this yolk sac, it is giving certain cells which are covering the blastocyst and forming extra embryonic mesoderm. Right. Now this extra embryonic mesoderm, it bursts there only, and it again forms a cavity kind of thing over here. Okay, here it will form a cavity. Few cells of extra embryonic mesoderm will remain as it is at the periphery. Here you will see certain extra embryonic mesoderm cells, and few cells you will find over here in this region. Other part will form a cavity, right? So now this particular part, that means syncytiotropoblast, then cytotrophoblast, and some cells of extra embryonic mesoderm together will form chorion, and this chorion will develop into placenta in future. That means this chorion will be the future placenta, which will provide, which will be helpful in providing nutrition to the baby. So this is the chorionic layer. Now this chorion, it will form a coiled structure which will be called as chorionic villi. Here in this diagram you can see these are the finger like projections to the chorion, and these are called as chorionic villi. This gray colored finger like projection that you can see are the chorionic villi. Syncytiotropoblast, it also forms a cavity which get filled with the blood. Here you can see certain small cavities are present in the layer of syncytiotropoblast, which then get filled with the mother's blood. Okay, the blood that is coming from the endometrium, it get filled with the blood. Few cells of extra embryonic mesoderm remains below hypoblast and epiblast after the formation of cavity around the yolk sac and amnion, which will be called as umbilical cord. That means I told you some or few cells of extra embryonic mesoderm remains over here below this hypoblast and epiblast, and here whatever the cells they remains, they will contribute in the formation of umbilical cord, right? So once again we'll just see this, that the epiblast, it forms amnion and amniotic cavity, and epiblast will be there as it is. Then the hypoblast will cover the blastocele and it will form yolk sac. Yolk sac will give certain cells which will form extra embryonic mesoderm. Here also you can see. Now this extra embryonic mesoderm will again form a cavity, but few cells of this will remain as it is at the periphery, which will together with the syncytiotropoblast and cytotrophoblast will form a chorion, which will be a future placenta, and few cells which remains as it is over here will form umbilical cord. Okay, these are the changes that happens or occurs in the hypoblast or because of the hypoblast. Okay, now actual gastrulation occurs after 15 days, about 15 days after fertilization, in which the bilaminar embryonic disc is transformed into trilaminar embryonic disc. So bilaminar embryonic disc was consisting of the epiblast and the hypoblast. Two layers were there. Bi means two. Two laminas or two layers were there of epiblast and hypoblast. Now when these two layers will form three layers, or it will transform or it will convert into three layer, then we will say gastrulation has occurred, and the result that we'll get will be the gastrula, which will again undergo certain changes. So now how this bilaminar embryonic disc will convert into trilaminar embryonic disc. So what happens is this occurs by the division, rearrangement and migration of the cells of epiblast. Epiblast will play an important role in the formation of trilaminar embryonic disc or formation of third layer. Okay, so here you can see these are the cells of epiblast which will arrange themselves, they will migrate, they will divide, they will rearrange, and they will form a structure called as primitive strix. So because of this division, rearrangement, and migration of the cells of epiblast, it will begin with the formation of primitive strip and a shallow groove on the surface, which is called as primitive groove. So here there is a formation of primitive strip. From the site of primitive stick, a third layer of cells called mesoderm extends between ectoderm and endoderm. Ectoderm, it is the epiblast. Endoderm is the hypoblast. And in between these two layers, we get one more layer because of this primitive stick is called as mesoderm. Because of primitive stick, few cells get added in between ectoderm and endoderm, which is called as mesoderm. This is the view from above. Now, after formation of this, the embryonal disc, it is now differentiated into three layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. And these three layers will be responsible for formation of different organs in the fetus. And the process of formation of organs is called as organogenesis. So further process after gastrulation has completed after the formation of these three layers, and afterward these will contribute in the formation of organ, which is called as organogenesis. Here also you can see that the formation of mesoderm, this is the structure of the previous gastrobastula, where certain divisions has occurred. Here you can see this blue colored is the epiblast, which has given a layer of amnion and epiblast as well. This is yellow colored hypoblast. Here you will find hypoblast, and this is the yolk sac. This is the extraembryonic mesoderm. Then you will have a syncytotrophoblast and cytotrophoblast below syncytotrophoblast, right? And this epiblast and hypoblast together will be called as bilayered embryonic disc. Now this yellow and blue colored portion has enlarged over here. Here you can see this shaded one is the epiblast and yellow colored is the hypoblast. Now let us see this particular structure over here. This amnion has removed, yolk sac is also removed. Now what we got is the head end of the bilayered embryonic disc, which is shown over here. Enlarged view of the bilayered embryonic disc. Now here there will be a formation of primitive strip. That here that you can see is the primitive strip, and this particular part has enlarged here, where you can see there is a formation of primitive strip. And because of the primitive strip, there will be an addition of new cells in between this epiblast and hypoblast. Here you can see new cells are getting added on, and then we will have a third layer called as mesoderm. So we got three layers. Upper one is the ectoderm from the epiblast. Then we have a mesoderm, which is a resultant of this primitive strip. And then we have the endoderm, which has formed from the hypoblast. So this is how we got the three layer here. The gastrulation process completes, and then the next division starts. Here also you can see this is the blastula. Then there is a development of gastrula. Gastrulation is occurring, and this is the end of gastrula, where you can see ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Here also you can see, I told you that hypoblast and epiblast, it contribute in the formation of embryo, and other layers that you can see in around the embryo are the layers of around the embryo or the fetus. In that you will find the chorion. Chorion, it is the combination of syncytotrophoblast, cytotrophoblast, and extra embryonic mesoderm, which will form a placenta later on. Then you will have an amnion layer. Then you will have allantois. This green colored part that you can see is the allantois. Here also you can see the development of allantois. This is also a layer around the embryo yolk sac. This particular thing here you can see it is getting shrinked in the later stages. When the embryo will develop, yolk sac will shrink, because then in human there is no use of embryos, this yolk sac, as the nutrition is given by the mother's body through the placenta. And here you can see two placentas, one from the fetus and the other from the mother part. And this is the umbilical cord. The extraembryonic mesoderm tissues were there that will form a umbilical cord over here. So these are the layers around the embryo or the fetus. Amnion, the first one will be the chorion, then you will have the amnion, then the yolk sac and allantois. Okay, now let us see how these three layers, ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm, contribute in the formation of various organs. So first that we will see is the ectoderm. So ectoderm, it gives rise to epidermis of the skin, hair, nails, sweat glands, salivary gland, mammary gland, lacrimal gland, sebaceous gland, cornea, lens, retina, conjunctiva, nasal epithelium, enamel of the teeth, internal and external ear, foregut, hindgut, adrenal medulla, anterior and posterior pituitary pineal gland, entire nervous system. Everything is given by these, all things are given by the ectoderm. Okay. Mostly it is giving the epidermis, and the nervous system is also formed because of the ectoderm. Now let us see what mesoderm contributes. So mesoderm, it forms all type of muscles. Mesoderm's work is to develop muscles in the baby, except iris muscles and ciliary muscles of the eye, because these are given by the ectoderm. Okay, except these, all the muscles are given by mesoderm. So connective tissues are also given by the mesoderm. Dermis of skin, that means the layer of skin, adrenal cortex, heart, is also because of the mesoderm. Blood vessels, lymphatic vessels, middle ear, dentine of the teeth, urinary and reproductive duct, gonads, kidneys, sclera and choroid of the eye. Everything is contributed by the mesoderm. Reproductive ducts, whatever we have studied in our previous videos, gonads, sex organs and kidney, important things are given by the mesoderm as well. Now let us see a role of endoderm. So endoderm, it gives epithelial tissues of midgut, glands of stomach and intestine, tongue, tonsils, lungs, trachea, bronchi, larynx, urinary bladder, vagina, liver, pancreas, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, thymus gland, Eustachian tube, epithelium of urethra and lining of middle ear. These things are contributed by the endoderm. Right. So these three things are mainly responsible in the formation of or the development of the baby from the fetus, which is developing from the embryo. Okay, so that was all about the gastrulation process. And now the next stage or the complete pregnancy we will study in our next video.